Hi there, this is Mr. Hampson from the Year 4 team. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of some of the key things we've looked at this autumn term. So the first area we're going to look at is science. Both Year 4 classes had an amazing time doing science this year. They really enjoy all of the experiments, and I think that's clear in the photos you can see there. We've been looking at states of matter in autumn term, so we've looked at solids and liquids and gases and how they change from one form to another. We've looked at things like non-Newtonian substances, we've looked at surface tension on liquids, and we've looked at how sometimes solids can have a property of a liquid as well. So yeah, they really enjoyed that. Lots of good investigations that took place. Next up is our history topic. For our history topic, we were looking at the Vikings. Now, we usually look at all of our main big topics throughout the year under a philosophical question, and we were looking at whether the invasion of the Vikings was a good thing for Britain. So it wasn't just learning about who the Vikings were and where they came from. We actually started to look at it in terms of the longer term effects of the Vikings being there, and the children had lots of discussions about whether they felt it was beneficial to us or not that they arrived. We looked at a lot of first-hand primary resources. So we looked at the clothing. We had a visit from Mr. Pepper from the local cinema, and we learnt a lot about the invasion of Lindisfarne, the monastery in England, when the Vikings first arrived. And we also looked at some of the clothing, the jewellery, the games, the houses. We looked at comparing Scandinavia to England and why it was important for the Vikings to come here, and also we looked at the battles that took place following their arrival. This was a really good topic. It's not an easy thing for them to get their heads around, but they did an amazing job, and they were all really confident at sharing their ideas by the end. Okay, tying into our history topic was our Kojo work. Now, Kojo is a kind of form of physical education, teamwork, and problem solving, resilience building activities. And it was all based around a Viking called Leif Erikson and his journeys across the world. And so a lot of the activities are about working together, trying to build up that resilience and discipline, being able to communicate clearly with your team, reviewing and critiquing how your teams got on, what worked well, didn't work very well. And the children always look forward to doing these Kojo lessons. Again, I think the photos show that really well. Um, but yeah, they had to do things like navigate bridges in teams and get themselves in order. They had to sail across the ocean in those long boats you can see in the bottom right hand picture, and also create statues when they set up new villages. Okay, so what's coming next? In the spring term, there's a few things we're really going to be having a big focus on. One of those will certainly be their times tables. By the end of year 4, children should have a solid grasp of all of their times tables up to 12. We do regular practice in school, but obviously due to time constraints, it would be amazing if they could be practicing these at home. The more fluent they can get, the better. This will obviously help them in all of their maths work moving through school. So that would be a big thing to focus on whilst they're off and moving into the spring term. The other thing is our topic work is going to change. We're going to move into looking at geography, and our main philosophical question is around how is our world connected. So we'll be looking at various means of trade and transport, but also technology and how we stay in touch with each other and communicate across the world. So if you want to do any basic work on that, just looking at the kind of transport that appears around Hyson Green, or looking at how we communicate with people around the world, that would give them a good solid starting point for when we actually move into the topic in the spring. Anyway, I hope that's covered a few of the things that we've done in year 4 today. And obviously I hope you have a brilliant winter break, and I'll see you in January.